sandwich.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Why don't you ask your boss, Mr. Spacely, for a raise?
Because the boss is a penny-pinching old crab, that's why.
The scariest part of the Jetsons isn't the robots or the flying cars. It's how much their problems now feel like ours. A boss who can ruin your life with one angry call.
Well, don't just stand there yes-sirring me, man. Get out and find her. Go, go, go.
Technology that's supposed to save time but constantly breaks.
Hey, cut it out.
A family that owns everything except real security. As kids, we wanted to live in Orbit City. As adults, we realized we already do, just without the cute sound effects. The strangest part?
The biggest premium feature at the time was color.
The answers start long before George ever presses his first button.
This is Secret Agent X-73145.
Fact 1, Orbit City's darkest secret was hidden in plain sight. When we were kids, Orbit City looked like a dreamy sky playground, floating streets, bright towers, and those famous flying cars. But watch it now and something instantly feels off. You never see the ground. Not once. No grass, no sidewalks, no parks, no life below the clouds. Every building is perched high above, as if everyone deliberately abandoned whatever lies underneath. Adults suddenly notice how eerie that is? Why build an entire civilization in the sky unless the surface became dangerous or dead? The Jetsons live in a cheerful dystopia where the truth isn't mentioned, it's simply avoided. And once you see that empty world beneath them, George Jetson's daily routine gets even stranger. Fact 2, George Jetson's overworked life was a joke only adults catch.
I hate that thing.
As kids, we really thought George had a stressful job and a boss who pushed him around. But as adults, the comedy hits differently. George works a tiny schedule pressing a single button and still complains non-stop about being overworked. He's not tired, he's bored, anxious, and terrified of being replaced. His entire career could vanish with one new machine, and he knows it. That panicky energy is the part we never caught as kids. It's a parody of modern work life long before it existed. Fear of automation mixed with the emptiness of doing nothing meaningful all day. But if George's job feels odd as an adult, Rosie the robot exposes something even more unsettling. Fact 3. Rosie the robot wasn't just a maid, she was a warning.
Rosie, where are you going?
I know you folks can't afford to have me around. Goodbye, Miss Judy.
As kids, Rosie was the coolest part of the Jetson home, a sassy robot maid who could talk back. But adults see a very different picture. Rosie isn't family, she's a servant with emotions she isn't allowed to act on. She jokes, she worries, she tries to please, yet she still calls George Mr. J and does the tasks nobody else wants to do. The show quietly reveals a future where all the lowest status work is handed to machines so humans don't feel guilty about inequality. Rosie is lovable, but she's also trapped in a role she can't escape. And when you notice that, Jane Jetson's perfect-looking life starts to feel strange too. Fact 4, Jane Jetson lives in a perfect home that still traps her.
Chin up, index fingers out. Ready for your push-button finger exercises?
As kids, Jane Jetson looked like she had everything. Push-button meals, voice-activated closets, gadgets that did half her chores for her. But adults see the bigger picture. Jane has all the technology in the world, but none of the freedom. She doesn't work, doesn't pursue dreams, and spends most days shopping or managing a home that practically runs itself. It's the 1960s housewife ideal wrapped in space-age colors. Futuristic tools changed everything, except her actual role. The show promised a liberated future, but kept Jane stuck in the same box. Real women were fighting to escape, and if Jane's world feels restricted, her daughter Judy's life reveals something even stranger. Fact 5. Judy Jetson is the future stuck in the past.
And you, of course, are Mrs. Jetson.
I'm not my mother, I'm his daughter. But thanks loads.
Growing up, Judy Jetson seemed like the ultimate future teen video phones, jet cars, makeup machines, and a closet full of high-tech outfits. But adults catch a disappointing truth. Judy has almost no real aspirations. She's boy crazy, fashion obsessed, and written like a stereotype pulled straight from a 1950s sitcom. Even in a world with impossible technology, her dreams are tiny concerts, dates, beauty gadgets. She lives in the most advanced era ever imagined, yet her character is trapped in an outdated idea of what a teenage girl should be. And that outdated role says a lot about who's missing entirely in Orbit City. Fact 6, Orbit City's future is missing entire kinds of people.
Oh boy, this traffic jam is all I need. With the Puerto cycle on the blink and the boss coming home to dinner.
As kids, we never questioned it. Everyone in Orbit City looks exactly the same. Same pale skin, same polished smiles, same perfect nuclear families. But watch it as an adult, and the silence becomes impossible to ignore. There are almost no people of color, no immigrants, no accents, no culture, no variety. For a show about the entire future of humanity, the cast feels more like a single suburb copied and pasted into the sky. It's not an accident. Early 60s TV avoided anything complicated to keep sponsors happy. But today, the absence feels eerie. Orbit City isn't diverse, it's sterilized. A future scrubbed clean of real life. And once you see who's missing, the question of who actually holds power becomes a lot stranger. Fact 7, Spacely Sprockets shows who really runs the future.
The girls need me for their protest meeting at the United Planets building.
As kids, Mr. Spacely was just the funny, explosive boss who yelled at George for everything. But adults see the unsettling truth hiding behind the jokes. Spacely represents total corporate power. One man decides George's income, schedule, stress level, and even his family's comfort. George is more afraid of Spacely's voice on a video screen than any broken robot in the house. And here's the strange twist. In a world run by machines, the real danger isn't technology, it's the humans who own it. Spacely Sprockets doesn't just employ George, it controls almost every corner of his life. And when you look at how George actually got the job in the first place, the picture gets even weirder. Fact 8, George Jetson's job only exists because of one strange choice.
Yes, George.
I want to see Mr. Spacely.
Sorry, Mr. Spacely's on the phone right now.
As kids, we accepted that George simply worked at Spacely Sprockets. But adults catch the bizarre detail the show slips in. George didn't earn the job through skill, experience, or talent. He was hired by a computer, a giant futuristic hiring machine that picked him out of millions of names because he pressed a button at the perfect moment. No interview, no resume, no qualifications, just luck. His entire career is basically a lottery win, and suddenly his constant fear of being fired makes perfect sense. He's not insecure, he's terrified of losing the one lucky break he never really deserved. And that uneasy feeling grows once you take a closer look at the city he works in. Fact 9, Orbit City isn't a city, it's a floating illusion.
It's George Jetson. Boy, Elroy.
When we were young, Orbit City looked massive. Endless towers, sky ramps, and bright highways stretching forever. But watching as an adult reveals a strange truth. You never see the full city. Every background repeats the same handful of buildings over and over, like cardboard cutouts arranged in the clouds. No real neighborhoods, no downtown, no ground transportation. Just a tiny cluster of sky platforms trying to look like a metropolis. Limited animation budgets explain it, but adults see something deeper. The Jetsons' future feels big when you're a kid, but oddly empty when you're grown. And that strange emptiness makes the Jetsons' daily social life even more unusual. Fact 10. The Jetsons live in a future with no real community.
I hate these compact saucers.
As kids, we never noticed how few people the Jetsons actually talk to. But watch as an adult and it feels eerie. No holiday crowds, no neighborhood gatherings, no birthday parties, no big dinners, no actual friends coming over. Even Elroy's school scenes look half empty. Orbit City is built for convenience, not connection. Everything important is automated shopping, communication, entertainment, leaving almost no need for human interaction. It's a bright, lonely future where everyone floats in their own bubble. Kids thought the Jetsons were lucky. Adults see a family surrounded by people, yet strangely alone. And that isolation becomes clearer once you start examining their so-called perfect home. Fact 11. Their house is designed to keep them busy, not free.
Toast, records, husband. That'll do it.
As children, the Jetsons' home looked like the greatest invention ever made. Machines cooking dinner, chairs gliding across the room, walls that answered your voice. But adults noticed the hidden joke. The gadgets don't save time. They create more work. Buttons jam, doors glitch, elevators misfire, food machines explode. Half the episodes revolve around repairing the perfect technology meant to make life easier. It's the same trap we live in today, smartphones and smart homes that constantly need updates, resets, and troubleshooting. The Jetsons aren't enjoying free time. They're running a never-ending tech support desk. And that constant chaos leads directly into one of the strangest predictions the show ever made. Fact 12. The Jetsons accidentally predicted our modern stress.
I might have known it. I'm out of fuel pellets. A little late, but it worked.
As kids, the Jetsons' world felt relaxing. Everything was clean, fast, and easy. But adults see a family that's stressed from morning to night. George worries about his unstable job. Jane juggles a house full of glitching machines. Judy obsesses over appearances. Elroy tries to survive his strict, computerized school. Every gadget that's supposed to help them ends up causing problems. It's the future, yet nobody ever slows down. Somehow, a cartoon from 1962 predicted exactly what our world feels like today. More convenience, more pressure, less peace. Kids completely missed it. Adults recognize it instantly. And nowhere is that stress more visible than in the Jetsons' flying car chaos. Fact, certain flying cars should bring freedom, but they don't.
Oh boy, this traffic jam is all I need. With the Puerto cycle on the blink and the boss coming home to dinner.
As kids, flying cars were the coolest part of the Jetsons. Zooming across the sky, landing anywhere, no limits, pure freedom. But adults noticed the strange reality. Flying cars in Orbit City behave just like regular cars, only louder and more stressful. George still hits sky traffic. He still gets parking tickets. He still panics every morning while weaving through crowded air lanes with horns blaring in the clouds. The skies aren't open, they're regulated, congested, and full of rules. What looked like adventure is just the daily commute lifted a few thousand feet higher. Nothing really changed except the altitude. And that same futuristic but not better feeling shows up even more clearly in Elroy's bizarre school system. Fact, Fort and Elroy's futuristic school isn't advanced.
His boy Elroy.
It's restrictive. As kids, Elroy's school felt fun, zip around desks, robot teachers, fancy gadgets everywhere, but adults catch how unsettling it really is. Nothing about his school encourages creativity. It's all automated grading, strict monitoring, and public embarrassment whenever a kid slips up. Lessons aren't taught by teachers, they're enforced by machines. Elroy doesn't get to explore, imagine, or try new ideas. He's pushed through a system that treats learning like factory output. It reflects the 1960s fear that technology would replace teachers and turn education into a conveyor belt. Kids saw a high-tech classroom. Adults see a cold, rigid environment where school means following orders without making mistakes. And that obsession with control becomes even more invasive once you look at the Jetsons' privacy or lack of it. Fact 15. The Jetsons live in a future with almost no privacy.
Duck down. There's my wife up ahead.
I do hope I can be
As kids, the Jetsons' video screens felt exciting instant calls, talking doors, screens everywhere. But adults see the creepy part. Nothing in their world ever stays private. Their door announces visitors before they knock. Shopping carts track everything Jane buys. George can't relax without Spacely spying on him through a random pop-up screen. Even sitting in the living room feels like being monitored by technology, neighbors, or corporate bosses. Orbit City is all convenience and zero boundaries. Every moment is watched, recorded, or interrupted. What looked futuristic now feels uncomfortably familiar, like our own world, just with louder sound effects. And the lack of real privacy makes Astro, their ordinary family dog, much stranger than he seems. Fact 16, Astro isn't just a pet, he's a status symbol.
Now remember, act natural. Ready, Mother? Ready, Mother.
As As kids, Astro was the lovable goofball dog who made the family complete. But adults noticed something unusual in Orbit City. Real animals barely exist. No birds, no squirrels, no pets walking around, nothing. Nature is gone, and anything alive is rare. That makes Astro a luxury, almost like owning a classic car in a world of self-driving pods. The Jetsons have a real dog when most families probably can't afford or care for one. It adds a quiet sadness behind the jokes. This isn't just a pet, it's proof the natural world has shrunk so much that a living dog is a privilege. And that missing nature hints at an even darker truth the show never says aloud. Fact 17. The Jetsons predicted climate collapse without saying a word.
Oh boy, what a day. I'm getting punchy from punching all these buttons.
Rewatch the series as an adult and the clues jump out. No forests, no oceans, no weather beyond storm clouds below the platforms. Orbit City floats above a world we never see because there may be nothing left to show. The lower atmosphere is full of smog. Storms rage below. Life exists only above the clouds, as if humanity fled upward to escape a dying Earth. The show never explains it directly, but the silence speaks volumes. The Jetsons live in a cheerful dystopia built on environmental collapse the audience was never meant to question. Kids didn't notice any of it. Adults see the warning instantly. And that warning becomes even stranger once you look at the gadgets inside their home. Fact-aiding technology makes life easier and strangely harder.
No, I don't think so.
As children, all the Jetsons gadgets looked magical. Push a button and dinner appears. Hit a switch and the bed wakes you up. But adults see the constant chaos those machines cause. The food a rack-a-cycle jams. The robo-made glitches. Elevators stall, computers melt down. Half the family's day is spent fixing the shortcuts meant to save them time. It's the same trap we fall into now. Smartphones, smart homes, and smart everything that constantly demand updates and troubleshooting. The Jetsons don't live a life of ease. They live a life of non-stop maintenance. And nowhere does that pressure show more clearly than in their so-called amazing video calls. Fact 19 video phones reveal more than they hide.
Hi, honey. It's me again. I want to know.
Good evening, dear.
As kids, video phones felt like pure science fiction. Seeing someone while talking to them, mind-blowing. But adults see the nightmare behind the novelty. Screens pop on when characters are half asleep or embarrassed. Jane uses a mask machine because she's pressured to look perfect at all times. Nobody gets privacy, preparation, or a moment to hide how they really feel. The future forces everyone to be camera ready 24/7. It's fun for kids, but adults feel the stress instantly. The Jetsons accidentally predicted the modern world of non-stop video calls, filters, and constant visibility. And that feeling of being always on becomes even stranger when you look inside George's workplace. Fact 20 Spacely Sprockets runs on fear, not innovation.
Oh boy, I hope we haven't missed the kickoff.
Relax, Jet. Please have your tickets.
As kids, Spacely Sprockets felt like a silly place with a boss who yelled too much. But adults notice the real engine of this company isn't technology, it's fear. Mr. Spacely fires George constantly, only to hire him back minutes later. He spies on workers through screens, blames them for mechanical failures, and keeps everyone one mistake away from disaster. It's not a workplace built on invention. It's a pressure cooker designed to keep employees terrified and obedient. And in a world where machines do most of the actual work, the humans left behind cling to their jobs with desperation. Kids saw George messing up again and again. Adults see a man trapped by a boss who owns his entire future. And that control becomes even stranger when you look at Orbit City's entire economy. Fact 21. The future is run by a few giant companies.
I'm sorry, Cosmo. The girls need me for their protest meeting at the United Planets building.
As children, the names Spacely Sprockets and Cogswell Cogs just sounded funny. As adults, we noticed something unsettling. These two companies basically own the entire future. There are no local shops, no mom and pop businesses, no small manufacturers, just mega corporations fighting for total control of technology, jobs, and daily life. Everything the Jetsons use, buy, or depend on comes from one of these giants. It's a cartoon version of corporate monopolies long before the term became mainstream. And it explains why George's life feels so fragile. He's not just working for a company, he's living inside its system. And what those machines replaced reveals something even stranger about Orbit City's foundation. Fact 22, the whole Jetsons universe was built on lost jobs.
Where's your ticket?
Well, I just had it.
Watching as adults, we finally catch a detail the show never says out loud. Nearly every robot replaces a human job. Rosie replaces a maid. Robot teachers replace educators. Machines replace cooks, cashiers, repair workers, customer service, practically the entire labor force. Orbit City isn't built on progress alone. It's built on massive unemployment. No wonder George fears losing his tiny button-pushing job machines took every other career long before he applied. Kids saw a fun, automated world full of helpful gadgets. Adults see a society where real work has vanished, and the remaining jobs are so fragile a single glitch could erase someone's livelihood. And one group of characters exposes an even stranger class structure hiding in plain sight. Fact 23, robo-servants reveal a strange class system. As kids, the Jetsons robots were funny helpers, cute, quirky, and always ready to assist. But adults noticed something deeper and far stranger. Orbit City has a class system built entirely on machines. Robots cook, clean, teach, repair, babysit, and even comfort people, yet they're owned, commanded, and scolded like disposable workers. Many clearly have emotions. Rosie worries, sighs, jokes, and even gets embarrassed, but no one questions her rights or autonomy. She's expected to serve without hesitation. It mirrors today's debates about automation and who benefits from it. Kids saw wacky robot sidekicks. Adults see an entire underclass made of metal, doing emotional and physical labor they can never refuse. And once you realize that, the Jetsons' helplessness makes a lot more sense. Fact 24. The Jetsons can't do basic tasks without machines.
Should have figured out an answer. Oh, here. And the answer is...
As children, the push-button lifestyle looked magical. But adults catch the uncomfortable truth. The Jetsons can't do anything on their own. They can't cook, clean, travel, wake up, or even open their own doors without assistance. One broken gadget brings their entire routine to a standstill. George can't even get to work if a single piece of tech malfunctions. It's the ultimate use it or lose it world. Machines do everything, so humans forget how to do anything. What was funny as a kid now feels uncomfortably familiar in the age of apps and smart devices. And that dependency feels even more disturbing when you look at what's missing from their world entirely. Fact 25, Orbit City has almost no nature left.
Crazy Legs Cosmos is under the ball. Crazy Legs is moving back. He's waiting. He's got it.
As kids, we were distracted by the bright colors and soaring towers. But adults spot the eerie reality. There's virtually no nature in the Jetsons. No trees, no parks, no oceans, no animals, just metal platforms floating above storm clouds. Seasons never change. The weather barely exists unless it's dangerous. Even plants are synthetic. It's not just a stylistic choice, it's a hint that the natural world has been erased. The Jetsons don't go camping, walk through grass, or enjoy the outdoors because there is no outdoors left for them. Kids saw a colorful sky city, adults see a warning wrapped in humor, a clean future built on the ruins of a destroyed Earth. And that destruction makes the show's earliest behind-the-scenes history even stranger. Fact 26. The show was canceled before most viewers even saw it.
Here, have a chair.
Thanks.
As kids, the Jetsons felt huge reruns made it seem like one of the biggest hits of the era. But adults learn a surprising twist. The original show was a ratings failure. It aired in prime time, struggled against stronger shows, and was canceled after a single season. Just 24 episodes created the entire cultural legend, flying cars, robot maids, smart homes, everything. The future we imagine today was built from a show that actually flopped. Reruns saved it years later, turning a failed experiment into a worldwide blueprint for tomorrow. Kids never knew the struggle behind the scenes. Adults see a future that almost didn't exist at all. And the drama behind George Jetson's very voice makes things even stranger. Fact 27, George Jetson's original voice actor was replaced and then sued.
Wow, what a tackle! Deduced it.
As kids, we never thought about who voiced George Jetson, but adults discover one of the strangest behind-the-scenes shakeups of the era. In the early production, comedian Maury Amsterdam originally voiced George and Pat Carroll voiced Jane. They recorded an entire episode, then were suddenly fired because sponsors feared conflicts with their other TV work. Both actors sued Hanna-Barbera, arguing they had already completed the job and were unfairly replaced. The studio won, but the case exposed how unstable early animation really was. Actors could vanish overnight, and a single sponsor complaint could rewrite a character's future. Kids saw a cheerful space dad. Adults see a casting battle that almost changed the Jetsons forever. And the voice drama only gets stranger once you look at Judy Jetson's story. Fact 28 Judy Jetson's movie voice caused a real-world backlash.
Well, I guess you won fair and square, Daddy.
Kids who watched the Jetsons movie had no idea anything strange happened behind the scenes. But adults discover one of animation's most controversial decisions. Longtime Judy Jetson voice actress Janet Waldo recorded the entire film, then was replaced at the last minute by pop star Tiffany. Universal wanted modern teen appeal, so they erased an industry icon to chase marketing buzz. It blew up in their faces. Fans were furious. Critics mocked the decision. Animators publicly protested losing the voice they'd grown up working with. Judy's identity shifted not for the story, but for a publicity gamble. Kids heard a new voice. Adults see a painful example of how studios treat artists as replaceable. And that's not the only time money shaped Orbit City's future. Fact 29, the Jetsons' future was designed around what sponsors wanted.
The Jetsons. Brought to you by Scotch Brand Magic Tape. Looks frosty on the roll, invisible.
As kids, all those wacky gadgets felt like pure imagination. But adults learned many of them existed for one reason. They looked good to advertisers. Hanna-Barbera worked closely with sponsors who wanted futuristic appliances, beauty machines, and push-button solutions they could later sell to real families. Orbit City wasn't just creative, it was commercial. The show's future was built to look like a 60% cartoon, 40% infomercial. The perfect home wasn't just a joke, it was a pitch. Kids saw fun inventions. Adults see a world shaped by corporate trends and marketing dreams. And those same design choices helped create one of the biggest contradictions in the Jetsons' entire world. Fact 30. The Jetsons' future promised leisure, but delivered anxiety.
He's not seeing visitors.
I'll only stay a second. Oh, there you are.
Growing up, we thought the future meant endless comfort. Instant meals, robot helpers, flying cars. But adults notice the irony hidden in every episode. Despite having more technology than anyone in history, the Jetsons are always stressed. George is constantly late. Jane is always scrambling between chores. Judy panics about appearances. Elroy races through strict routines. Their world is supposed to be effortless, yet no one ever slows down. Technology didn't give them peace, it gave them pressure. The show accidentally predicted our modern life. More shortcuts, more chaos, less calm. Kids saw a cool future, adults see a warning wrapped in bright colors, and the look of Orbit City itself hides another strange truth most people missed. Fact 31, Orbit City's architecture came from real futurist designs. As kids, Orbit City's curved towers and floating sidewalks looked wildly original. But adults learned these structures came straight from 1950s futurist architecture. Googie diners, atomic-era motels, starburst signs, neon angles. Designers in Los Angeles and Las Vegas were already building versions of this future years before the show. The Jetsons didn't invent the aesthetic, they exaggerated it. Orbit City is basically a cartoon remix of mid-century America's wildest architectural dreams. The future we imagined was actually a reflection of roadside diners and space-age car culture. Kids saw pure fantasy. Adults see a scrapbook of real-world ambition masked as sci-fi, and the truth hiding inside that shiny architecture reveals something even stranger about the Jetsons' lifestyle. Fact 32. The Jetsons live in a future without middle-class security.
Freeze!
As children, the Jetsons felt like a stable, middle-class family in the sky. But adults, notice how fragile their life really is. George's job is unstable, Spacely fires him many times, Jane doesn't work. Their entire home, routine, and comfort rely on one paycheck controlled by one unpredictable boss. There's no union, no benefits, no safety net, no backup plan. It looks like prosperity, but feels like survival. The Jetsons live in a bright world held together by a single income in a society full of automation. Kids saw comfort. Adults see a family walking a financial tightrope. And their dependence on technology makes that tightrope even shakier. Fact 33 Orbit City runs on technology, but nobody understands it.
Good, they haven't started yet.
Look, Jetson, here comes the...
As kids, we never cared how anything worked. Press a button, and magic happened. But watching now, adults see something unsettling. Almost no one in Orbit City understands the technology their entire world depends on. George can't fix anything. Jane panics when a gadget malfunctions. Even Rosie needs repairmen who barely understand the machines they service. It's a society built on tech that nobody truly controls. Life moves fast until one glitch freezes the entire routine. It's funny as a cartoon and frighteningly familiar in real life. And that blind trust in machines bleeds into something even stranger: how the Jetsons interact with each other. Fact 34. The Jetsons talk to machines more than each other.
It's right in there. Rosie will show you where it is.
Where vacuum cleaner?
As kids, we loved how the Jetsons chatted with robots and screens that talked back. But adults catch the downside. The family communicates more with their devices than with each other. Jane shops through machines. George checks in with Spacely through screens. Judy gossips via video. Even arguments happen through floating monitors instead of face-to-face conversations. Technology didn't just simplify their lives, it replaced human connection. The show accidentally predicted a future where families sit in the same room but talk through devices. Kids saw futuristic fun. Adults see a portrait of loneliness disguised as convenience. And that loneliness reveals one more strange truth about how the Jetsons live. Fact 35. Their daily routines are built on endless consumption.
Take a look at my button-pushing finger. What do you think?
Poor dear.
As kids, all the shopping scenes were funny, Jane's credit card zipping around, Judy changing outfits every hour. But adults see the pattern. Orbit City runs on non-stop consumption. Every problem is solved by buying a new gadget. Every moment of boredom triggers another shopping spree. Nothing gets repaired. Everything gets replaced. The Jetsons don't just use products, they revolve their lives around them. It's a cartoon exaggeration of 1960s consumerism and an eerie preview of the world we live in today. Kids saw flashy fun. Adults see a society trained to buy happiness one gadget at a time. And those habits expose an even weirder truth hiding under Orbit City's bright colors. Fact 36. The Jetsons have no savings, no backup plan, no safety net. As grown-ups,
A trainer moving out had the wind knocked out of him and is being helped off the field.
we notice something the show never says but constantly hints at. The Jetsons live with zero financial cushion. George's job is unstable. Jane doesn't earn anything. There's no talk of insurance, retirement, savings, or long-term security. Whenever Mr. Spacely fires George, and he does it constantly, the family instantly spirals into panic because they have nothing stored away. Their entire future depends on a single paycheck in a world where machines do nearly all the work. The shiny gadgets hide a grim truth. This future family is one bad day away from collapse. Kids never saw it. Adults recognize the quiet fear behind every joke. And that hidden anxiety becomes even stranger when you examine the structure of the world they live in. Fact 37. The Jetsons live in towers that hide a dark truth beneath them.
Get him off of me! That dog has snapped.
As kids, Orbit City's tall towers looked exciting homes perched high above the clouds, floating platforms, endless blue skies. But adults notice what the show avoids. Nobody ever goes to the ground. Not once. They never look down, never travel downward, never mention life below the clouds, as if it no longer exists. Whether it was pollution, storms, smog, or abandoned cities, something forced humanity upward long before George Jetson ever pressed his first button. Orbit City is a cheerful dystopia, bright on the surface, unsettling underneath. Kids love the view from above. Adults feel the silence of whatever disaster lies below. And that silence makes the next missing detail in Orbit City even stranger. Fact 38. The Jetsons' future has no real government, and that's strange.
There you are, sir.
As children, we never wondered who actually ran Orbit City. Adults notice immediately. There's no mayor, no president, no elections, no police, no hospitals, no public services, nothing resembling a government. The only authority figures we ever see are corporate bosses like Spacely and Cogswell. That means companies don't just make products, they run society. Families follow whatever structure business leaders create with no safety net or public system to rely on. It's a future where corporations quietly replace government and no one in the Jetsons world seems to question it. Kids saw a simple cartoon city. Adults see a society run entirely by business interests. And with no real leadership, Orbit City's stability becomes much more fragile than it looks. Fact 39. Their futuristic comfort depends on a system that could collapse anytime.
Yoo-hoo! Anybody home?
In the bedroom, dear.
As kids, Orbit City felt rock-solid, smooth machines, floating homes, flying cars, everything perfectly controlled. But adults, notice how frighteningly fragile the whole system is. Those platforms must stay floating. The air cars must keep working. The home automation must stay online. One blackout, one power failure, one major storm, and the entire city could fall apart, with no escape routes and no ground life to return to. There are no emergency plans, no backups, no fail-safes. The Jetsons live in comfort, balanced on a tiny layer of technology, with nothing underneath to catch them. Kids saw a stable future. Adults see a world hanging by a thread. And once you see that, the final truth about the Jetsons becomes the strangest one of all. Fact 41 season accidentally became the blueprint for the entire future.
Brilliant customer came through the turnstile tonight. He's the holder of ticket 562, sir. And here it is.
Here's the strangest part, the twist only adults fully appreciate. The Jetsons shaped the world's entire idea of the future, yet the original series lasted just one season, 24 episodes. That's all. It wasn't a hit. It wasn't a cultural phenomenon. It failed in prime time and disappeared until reruns resurrected it years later. But by then, its vision of tomorrow, flying cars, robot maids, smart homes, digital screens, had taken root everywhere. Real-life inventors, designers, and dreamers copied a cartoon that barely survived its first run. Kids never questioned it. Adults see the irony. Our vision of the future was built from a short-lived 60s show that almost nobody watched at the time. And that's what makes the Jetsons one of the strangest failed hits in television history.